Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Paul, and it's week 3 of our online tailgates from the Bengals UK. Here, dotted around the UK, we have some likely lads here. We've got Pete Dadswell. Hello, Pete.
Hi, Houday.
We've got Jamie Rowe, who's just joined us.
Hi, good afternoon, Houday.
And we've got Andrew Dockerell, who's still... he's just unmuted himself. Andrew, how you doing, man?
Houday.
So, how are we going, guys? It's week 3 already. It seems strange to say that after the long wait that we had in the off-season and all the uncertainty, and we've still got a lot of uncertainty, certainly over here now. And, of course, we're 0-2. How is everybody today? Jamie, how are you doing?
Well, I spent most of the afternoon watching Sheffield United lose again, so that's probably shaping my mood as it's gone today. It's not been a very exciting Sunday. It's not been a very exciting weekend, to be honest, and I'm waiting for the Bengals to pick me up. I don't know if that's a wise move or not.
Mate, you should know better by now, really. Andrew, you're making your debut on the online tailgate. You've remembered to wear clothes, which is good. How are you feeling about everything, and how's your week been?
It's been a pretty tame week. I think I'm more nervous for today's game than I was for week 1, week 2, just because I think it's the best matchup we've had so far. And 0-3 is not the start you want with Burrow, but we'll see. Okay.
Pete, your team lost as well today on the other side of the Sheffield divide. I thought I'd throw that in straight away. So there's no real bragging rights between the Sheffield lads today. It's all equal. How have you been?
Yeah, not bad. It took me a couple more days than I thought it would to overcome a loss last week. As well as I thought Burrow played and we looked better in places, we made a poor Brown side look better than they were. So that disappointed me. But I have to say that I'm also a Cincinnati Reds fan, and this week their fantastic September, which seen them push to the playoffs, has borne fruit, because they made the playoffs the first time since 2013. So that's been exciting me this week, and I'm hoping the week will be finished off well with the Bengals today.
So go on, Andrew, and you're the baseball fans. I'm not a baseball fan. Jamie, what do you think about baseball? It just seems to be a fancy version around us to me. But
yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of baseball, but I have been kind of keeping up with the Reds and their kind of late surge for the playoffs. I'll leave it to Pete and Andrew, who are closer to the action, to sort of discuss it.
Go on then, Pete and Andrew. Talk us through the Reds. What's going on with those? We know that they qualified for the playoffs. Do they have a realistic shot of going deep, do you think?
Go for it, Andrew.
Well, so early season, pre-season, they were talked about as one of those kind of dark horse guys that could really come in, surge late, and potentially be in the running. They did not start the season that way. They were terrible. The bats were super cold. They brought in a lot of guys in free agency to boost that batting attack, and they just could not score runs at all. Despite a really, really good pitching rotation that's been great all year, to be honest. They've had struggles in the bullpen to back that starting rotation up. But
sorry, what is a bullpen? I am a baseball Luddite. A bullpen sounds...
If I think cricket-wise, you're thinking you've got your opening bowlers, and then you get your offies to come on late to change the game. That's kind of what I'm thinking. They finish the game off for you.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. So, yeah, you've had a really good front three of Trevor Bauer, who's in the potential running for Cy Young Award, which is for the best pitcher in the division. You've got Luis Castillo, who has some of the best stuff in baseball, in my opinion. Super 98-mile-an-hour fastball, followed up by probably the best changeup in the game, top 5 changeup in the game. That's a slower ball in cricket. And Sonny Gray as well, who's had some injuries, but he's back fit. So they're going into this wildcard series, which is a 3-game set with 3 of the best pitchers in baseball. So there's a real chance they can get through. And when you have the pitching in the playoffs, you really are in with a shot.
but they're also going in with something else, and that's real momentum. At the beginning of end of August, there was something like 20% chance of getting the playoffs, and then we got in with 2 games to go. No team's going to want to play us because we've got momentum. The bats have suddenly got very, very hot, and as Andrew said, our pitching with our 3 best pitchers who we will rely upon are probably the 3 best trio in the MLB. But it's exciting stuff, and from a Bengals perspective, what I'm hoping is that the excitement in Cincinnati now must be palpable, and I hope the players will be able to pick up on that living in Cincy ahead of the game tonight. There are parallels with the Bengals, I hope, because the Reds have been building up for this for a number of years, and then had a major splurge in free agency in the last off season, aiming for just this. Now, obviously, COVID-19 changed the season. COVID-19 changed the season significantly, but we stayed on course. And although we were slow starting, we've got there. This was the plan all along. We've been building for this. We've concentrated on the pitchers, having some of the best pitchers and pitching coaches. And it's much the same as, right, we've brought Burrow in now. He's going to be our main star. We've got to build around him. We've invested in free agency. This is not a first. This is the first year of a 2, 3, 4 year plan, and that's been the way of the Reds, and it's bearing fruit. Hopefully, it'll bear fruit for the Bengals.
Let's hope there are parallels, because I think if the Bengals made the playoffs again, I'm going to say it now. I think they might be better equipped to go deep this time because they've got a quarterback, and I'm going to say it, that could, not flinch on those key moments. Not that Dalton did all the time, you know what I mean? I'm just
I'll draw another parallel.
Oh, go on.
At the moment, we don't know who we're going to play.
Both teams are in Cincinnati.
No.
No.
We don't know who we're going to play. There is still an off chance that we're going to end up playing the team that's won our division in the playoffs, the Chicago Cubs. The parallel to that is us playing the Pittsburgh Steelers in the World Cup.
Don't bring that name into this house, Pete. You should know better by now. As regular watchers, that still takes me a bit of a time to get used to that. As regular viewers will know that we like to bring in Bengals fans if we can. We do have our beer video from Moz again. We do have our betting tips from Adam. We've got some foodie bits a bit later on. So do come on. The link has been posted in our Facebook and on our Twitter feed. So all you have to do is click on the link. And if you want to come on and say hello, please do so. But I'm delighted to say that someone very special is joining us now. Let me bring them in. It's Father Bill Braminer and Angela. How are you doing?
Hi, we're doing very well.
Now, viewers will see, Bill, that you are a man of the cloth.
Indeed.
I'm like that. I'm quite perceptive in that way. And I met you guys 4 years ago in the Admiralty. We won't tell the man upstairs that you were in a pub, but but yeah, I found it fascinating. Oh, okay, right. And I found it great that we like to, there's lots of things, lots of fans from all walks of life in Bengaldom. And I wasn't expecting to meet. What are you, a priest or a vicar? What religion are you, Bill, that you represent?
I'm both. I'm ordained as a priest, but I work as a vicar, so it's the same thing, really. Okay,
so shall I? I'll just call you Father Bill from now on.
That's fine. Anything will do.
So, how did a man of the cloth become a Bengals fan? Well, first of all, where are you in the UK? Let's ask you that.
Okay, so we're in Stockton-on-Tees, which is quite near Middlesbrough, up in the northeast of England. And I've been a Bengals fan for a lot longer than I've been a priest, actually. So I first got into American football as a player when I was at college, and played for quite a number of years. Played for the Leicester Huntsmen and the Warrington Scorpions, and everybody had to have an NFL team. So mine became the Bengals. So I've been a Bengals fan for just under 40 years and a priest for just under 25.
What position did you play, Father Bill?
I was mostly right guard, but I did play centre when I was at college, and I played a bit of tight end and a bit of quarterback as well. When I was a younger man, I could throw the ball a long, long way. So I used to go in for the Hail Marys. Topical.
Bengals, if you're watching, they're a bit short at guard, so you've got one right here.
Absolutely.
Angela, were you a Bengals fan because of Bill as well? Is that how you became?
No, we both sort of started watching it together. We were both at university together in Leicester. And my brother was in Loughborough at the time as well. And he played for Loughborough University team. So we were often meeting him. And to be totally honest, the reason that we sort of got into the Bengals was we went up to one of the shops near Loughborough that was selling the NFL stuff at that time. It was the mid-80s, so 85, 86. And I picked up a huddle from the shelf, and it was a Bengal huddle. And I liked it because because of the helmet, because of the tiger. And so ever since that stuck.
I think so many people started to support the Bengals because of the uniform and the helmets.
Yeah,
right?
Familiar story. Yeah.
Dare I ask, Father Bill, did you take to spirituality because of what the Bengals were doing on the field at that time?
I'd probably have a great devotion to St. Jude, the patron saint of lost causes, if it was all about that. No, I've been a Christian for as long as I can remember. But if I'm absolutely honest, playing football was a really, really good way to kind of, let's just say, work out your frustrations on other people. And most of the training that we had, actually, when I was at Leicester, we used to train with Sean Payton, who's now the head coach of the New Orleans Saints.
All right.
And Sean and a guy called Doug Grassie, who was our coach, they were very good at showing us how to use what people think is padding as weaponry. And it was quite interesting for somebody who wasn't really supposed to do violence to be required to do it for an hour a week.
There's a knowing nod from Jamie there, because I think, Jamie, you played offensive line as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I was tackle tight end, and there is an awful lot of using your width and using sort of the padding available to you to get in people's ways and sort of getting people's grills, and particularly sort of use of the helmet, getting under it. It's obviously incredibly illegal and naughty, but what the ref doesn't see doesn't get called.
I think in rugby, the front row or the forwards, they call it the dark arts, and it sounds like that's very much the dark arts of the offensive line play.
Well, if you could see my whole pattern now, you'd realise I dress like Darth Vader anyway. So, there we are.
Father, I have to ask you this: have you ever worked in the Bengals into a sermon during your lifetime as a priest?
Yes, I have, because when we went, Angela's wearing the hoodie from the game in London a few years ago,
Okay.
and the week after that, I worked into the sermon where we'd been, and talked a lot about that and a lot about the Bengals. So yes, I have.
So we're obviously not doing very well. We haven't had a great start, and we haven't had a great couple of seasons. What do you suggest to Bengals fans who are down in the dumps and need some spiritual uplift?
Well, I think, one of the things that we often say is waiting is kind of good thing spiritually. And as Bengals fans, we're used to that. But I think I've heard so much about Joey Burrow this year from the commentators and the analysts. And I think what we've got to do is kind of try and build around the good things that we do have. And build around a good system that will work for that. And actually, as I would say to the guys at church, my whole life is about building something around the gospel and around a relationship with God. So the Bengals just need to do that, but they need to recognise that they've got a main man there as quarterback, whereas mine's upstairs, and have a bit of patience. It will come. I mean, I watched, the highlights. I've only seen the highlights of the first two games, but it's a bit clear to me as a former offensive lineman that the O-line needs a bit of work on stopping the poor guy getting sacked every 5 minutes. And it would be quite good if the defence was a bit beefed up, But I do think we've got the makings there of something this year. And it might be a building year this year, and we might find the glory next year. But I think it's coming.
Yeah. Dave Cass, we've got a comment. Dave says, "Could the Father please start praying for us? We need some
I've been doing that for 40 years, mate."
either that or replace Bobby Hart on the O-line. Well, there we go. Do you call the man upstairs QB1? Is that what you're saying?
QB1. Well, there's an idea. I've never thought of him in that way, but yeah, maybe. He's definitely my franchise man. I have to say that.
He's your phrase.
Yeah. Does he call audibles?
Stern words for him.
Oh, he does call audibles. You've got to listen really carefully, but he does.
All right.
Did you have some stern words for him after that 2015 playoff loss against the Steelers? He must have taken a few days of contemplation there.
I'm still hurting from the Super Bowl when Tim Crumry broke his leg. That was
don't.
He works in mysterious ways.
Yes.
Well,
clearly,
Tim walks in mysterious ways now after breaking his leg.
Well, Bill, Angela, thank you so much for joining us. I'm so pleased to have found you guys again. I do remember, obviously, I remembered you from 2016, and do come on again. It'd be lovely to hear from you both. And I know that we've got some duties to get to do very shortly, actually. So thank you for fitting us in, and
no problem.
all the best, guys. Stay safe up there, yeah.
And one thing, just before I go, absolutely genuinely. Apart from when we're having a pandemic, I go to London quite a lot for meetings, and I generally walk from the train station to the meeting, and I pass the Admiralty every time.
And does it bring back
Trafalgar Square? And every time I do that, I play for all the Bengals UK fans. So if you feel a little warm buzz down the back of your neck one day, it's because I'm walking past there and saying a prayer for you.
Well, I've walked there past there a few times, and it's obviously all boarded up now. It's kind of a sad sight, really, and I just want to go in and kind of relive the atmosphere. If Moz has a question for you, but he's not got back to us. Let's see. No, I think we'll let you go. Bill, Angela, thank you so much, guys, for joining us. Come back anytime, and stay safe up there, yeah?
That'll be really great.
Thanks.
Cheers,
Good
guys. And God bless everyone.
God bless.
Nice to meet you.
A bit of breaking news coming across. John Ross is inactive today.
Is he? Well, this is one of the questions. Because obviously Auden Tate was made inactive during the Browns game, and it was a question of who was going to be inactive out of that wide receiver room this week. And I mean, what's everyone's reaction to that? Andrew, what do you think?
My biggest worry is who stretches the field now. John Ross has obviously been completely inconsistent, lack of ability to run routes where he should be running routes, dropping balls, but he's the guy with that 4.2 pace. Now you're looking at probably 4.5-ish, 4.6-ish is our fastest receiver. That just helps the defense massively to put another guy in the box.
It does, but no defenses were worried about Ross, despite that pace. It's track pace. It's not pace on the field. He never shows it on the field, and they know that even if he does get beyond them, he's not going to catch the thing. I think perhaps one of the problems has been we've not been able to throw the pass 20 yards forward. We've not been able to get separation. Maybe they're just going to go for the bigger units. They're not going to get a separation, but they'll catch the contested passes much more than Ross will. I think Auden Tate's been kicking off a little bit, hasn't he? And maybe that's why they've given him the nod this week.
And you look back a few years, and Tyler Boyd was made inactive for, I think it was a game against the Steelers, and that was a massive kick up the arse for him. And maybe this will be what that represents for John Ross. It could either go that way, in which it caused him to really buck up his ideas about whether he wants to be the main kind of receiver for us, or it pushes him towards sort of the trade block and whether we can see if there's anything out there for him.
Who's going to offer? I mean, it was a great call, but I think he's done it since we've not picked up his fifth-year option. He's not earned it, and he knows he's not earned it. Who's going to trade for him? Because they know that he's going to be a free agent at the end of the season. I just don't think it. There, I say it.
Yeah.
I think it's been a bust.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's the last nail in the coffin. I think he strikes me mentally as a guy who can't take the downs with the ups. He's not, as soon as he takes one knock, he's down and he's out for the rest of the game. A drop or a press coverage mishap, he's out for the game after that.
It has to be said that I think his confidence, which is low, is and easily hit. I don't think Marv helped him when he made a couple of mistakes in his first few games, and then he got dropped. And I don't think Marv handled him very well.
Yeah, I think it's such a shame because he's a very likable guy, and you want him to succeed. Because as Andrew said, he's got the speed, he's got the skills. He's just not got the concentration or the ball tracking. I don't know what it is. He just hasn't put it together. What a shame. Let's go through some comments. The Holy Moly Donut Shop says, cheers from Cincinnati. Cheers to you guys. And
send supplies, please.
Yeah.
Mapcase Exapno says, this is a good get in case Rocky goes to his priest to give the Eagles an advantage. Whatever name 3. This is actually Beth Harcourt. My husband is an Eagles fan. We've discussed it and believe the team that runs the ball more successfully will win. Dave Cass, hi guys, glad to see the Reds doing well. Another good win for the Bearcats as well. Here's to a good win this evening against the Eagles. LJ Walter says, hi everyone, bring us a win finally. And he says a who day. Paul Blanton, nothing will help this coaching staff and ownership. Oh dear, Paul. Got out of the bed way, son. Dan O'Neill.
We're there in a few weeks.
Yeah, we might be. Dan O'Neill, are we comparing Joe Burrow to God now? No, I don't think so. That's slightly unfair because God doesn't exist. Tom Bundy, who day from Hamilton, Ohio. Who day to you, Tom? And who else have we got? Slam Dunk the Funk, just finished my roast dinner, late to the party, excited for our first win today. You could have sent us some pictures, Duncan. We want pictures of food and whatever. Jubal Lee Miller, cheers and who day from Kentucky. Ollie Iverson, someone will try and turn Ross into what Ted Ginn has become, at least when he was at the Saints. We won't get much anything for him. I just think it's a shame, really. Right.
Paul, last week there was reference to the Bengals vicar, and we've had one on today. We need a regular slot for man of the cloth. I'm sure there must be some other Bengals, I say men or people of the cloth who would love to come on.
Absolutely, more than welcome. If there are any men, women of the cloth out there, please do. We
need all the help we can get, and if that comes from kind of more supernatural means, then I'm all for it.
We'll take Scientology right now.
Yeah, let's drop the
praise Xenu
theological speculation because this is rapidly going down a hole that probably it won't escape from. Let's bring viewers with this week's beer video.
Hello, Bengals Nation. Moz here with 2 new beers I recommend. The first beer I've actually got a can of right next to me here. It is from Neon Raptor, who are based in Nottingham, 5 minutes away from my office actually. So it was always useful on a Friday, nipping around there and getting a load of cans and bringing them back home for me and my dad and probably friends as well most times, more than not. But yeah, this is a double IPA with strata hop only. It is coming in at 8%. This is the can. It's called Totem Beliefs. I actually had this beer last week on draft. It was a really good beer. It slinked down an absolute treat, which gives you a general gist of how nice it actually is. With this beer, you can expect passion fruit, grapefruit, a bit of pine, general tropical flavours. It's full-bodied mouthfeel. It's really full and creamy. It's a really good beer. I must say. Price, because they've sold out on Neon Raptor, you can't get them for the the £6 a can price. But you're talking, I've seen it online, you're talking anywhere between £6.70 to £7.50. Obviously, it might be a bit more if you're in London, for example. But it's not the cheapest beer, but it is a beer that is really good, and it is worth trying, I must say. And the second beer is kind of linked and themed in a way to Philadelphia, dubbed the City of Brotherly Love. And there's a little bit of a story to this. Some of you might know this. It is in the 1800s. There was two brothers, John Smiths and Sam Smiths, who had two separate breweries in Tadcaster in Yorkshire. And the beer I recommend to you is Sam Smith's Raspberry Fruit Beer. You can get it pretty much in every single Sam Smith's pub. And you're more than likely to get it in your local bottle shops too. Price, without knowing, if I had to have a rough guess, you're talking roughly anywhere between £3 to about £4.50. It is a beer that makes me smile. It is a smiler beer, which I like to dub beers. And if a beer makes you smile, it is a reason for all that. It's just a natural instinct for me anyway. It just tastes like raspberry ripple ice cream. You could put raspberry ripple ice cream on a Vindaloo and I'll love it, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's probably more accustomed to warmer weather, and obviously it's getting a bit cold now. But after this dreadful year, anything that can make you smile, I think is more than welcome at any point of the year, and definitely this year been bloody awful. But yeah, they're the two beers that I recommend. Hope you all have a good Sunday and a hooray.
Well, big thanks to Mozza there, and a raspberry ripple beer. How about that?
Well, you mentioned sort of having raspberry ripple ice cream on the Vindaloo, and I want to see Nathan Palmer do that on a forthcoming podcast.
That's never going to happen. We've got some messages. Carl Strong, Houday from Fairfield, Ohio. Houday to you, Kyle. Stuart Slaughter Baird. Solid handle. I once dressed as a vicar for a week or so. Long story. Perhaps I could help. Stuart, you're not coming on in any sort of garb like that. Holly Sefton asked, double IPA. What's the IBUs on that bad boy? I'm not sure, Holly, but you can get hold of Moz on Twitter. She says, you all need to visit Cincinnati. We have many, many breweries with great beers. Yes, we know. I've been and sampled the delights of the brewing industry there. Now, we do like to talk about food as well as beer, and please do send in any food picks that you'd like. I got told about something this week that I wanted to share, and Jamie might know this. Actually, Pete might as well, being from the north of England. Something called pea wet.
Oh no! Yeah, this isn't good news. I think this is more of a sort of North Midlands thing than an actual true North.
See, I've heard it's originated in Wigan.
Oh, it could well do. They've got very, very funny opinions about food over that side.
Pea wet is, as the name suggests, the juice from the peas, which doesn't work if the peas are too mushy. Sometimes you would have a wet mixture with scraps or batter, or if you were saving money, chips and pea wet was always an option. And another website calls it the discharge that comes off mushy peas.
Discharge is the word. Yeah, look at that.
Oh no!
Absolutely vile.
Oh, apologies for anyone having their tea right now.
Now, I've sort of found another. So basically, for our American listeners, mushy peas is a big thing over here. We eat them with chips from the fish and chip shop. Okay. But I mean, they're fairly disgusting, as you can see. I mean, that's a pie in a bread roll with mushy peas and some disgusting tar-like
barbecue sauce
there. But that is it. So this is the juice from mushy peas, and they've made it a thing. They use it as a condiment. Andrew, you look suitably disgusted.
I can't stand peas normally, so the excrement
Should I just
peas.
put that up for you again?
I think they call it the essence de pea.
Jus de pea, I think.
Jus de pea.
So we're giving that a thumbs down.
Yeah.
How about this? Hold on. There we go.
Hello.
There's a lot of carbohydrate.
There we go.
That is a pizza
calzone.
new from the pizzeria that bought you the pizza slice topped with mini pizza slices. Comes the pizza box pizza, a pizza made entirely out of pizza box, I should say, with a pizza inside, which the restaurant touts as waste-free. What are we saying about that one?
Well, I probably close the box lid and try to eat it all at once. I don't think I'd be successful in that. I'd probably manage about a tenth of that amount of pizza. That's an awful lot.
That's a lot of pizza, isn't it?
I don't think you can describe it waste-free. You eat that, you've got a very big waste.
Yeah, absolutely.
I enjoy that they still put the box topper on.
Here's something out there for all you hootenanny freaks out there. It is a burger bong, basically.
Man.
Tim Buchanich, who seems to be some sort of a weed MacGyver, says this article, has developed the McBong, made with 3 McDonald's cheeseburgers, a soda and fries. The bong can also conceivably serve as a munchies cure after you're done. We give it 2 months before the McBong makes it to the dollar menu in Colorado. There we go. And finally, now,
what on earth?
Where are we going with this?
Now, I think everybody.
How did you get my picture?
A bit of fluff in their belly button.
No.
Now, a group of Australian brewers has created belly button beer using yeast grown from lint harvested from their own belly button. Now,
Moz is going to do a video on that next week.
Would you drink a beer, Andrew? Again, you're shaking your head like you're going to vomit at any moment.
As the food scientist on here, I've got to worry about some of these ideas. Although saying that, there is a very good beer that's brewed with waste toast from I think it's from Warburton's. They use their leftover burnt bread and then brew it. That's a very good beer. No belly fluff, just straight bread. Okay.
Slam Dunk the Funk. Docker's face is a picture right now. Moses said it is Wigan. Stoke is North Midlands, and you can get it in Stoke. The jus de pea. Jess, this is what obvious says. Wow.
I don't think Jess likes that.
I don't think Jess is keen on the belly button beer. I tell you what, Jess, we'll collect some belly button fluff from collective members of Bengals UK, and we'll attempt to send you some beer that we might be able to brew out of it, or not. Probably not, to be honest. Drajune Raw, so that's a solid handle as well. Houday from Alberta, Canada, everyone. Very good. Now, we do have our first giveaway this week of the season, and it is we've managed to partner up with Playbook Products at Playbook Product, and they do some fantastic things, all with sort of like plays illustrated on them, and they donated a freezer bowl mug to us, which, as you can see, has some of the plays from the freezer bowl. It comes in a really cool design. So we thank them. All you have to do to win this mug is follow us on Twitter at Houday_UK and tag us in a tweet. Tell us who was the starting quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals and the San Diego Chargers in the Freezer Bowl, which of course was the AFC Championship game in the 81-82 season. Now, what you need to do, as I say, you can tag us. You can do this on Facebook as well, but you need to follow Playbook Products. They are at Playbook Product. So follow us, or at least send us a tweet, tag us in it, follow Playbook Product, and answer that question. Who were the starting quarterbacks in the Freezer Bowl for the Cincinnati Bengals and the San Diego Chargers? They are also on Facebook as well. So if you're going to enter on Facebook, like their page on Facebook, or if you're on Twitter, follow those guys on Twitter. And we will be checking. We're going to keep the competition open until tomorrow, and then let you guys know. So thank you to Playbook Products for donating. I mean, it's really cool. And you should go check out their website because they have some great stuff. There's like Icky Shuffle posters, all drawn out in kind of X's and O's. It's really cool. So definitely go and check those out. It's they've got a UK website. It's playbookproducts.co.uk. So go and check. With Christmas coming up, this could be a marvelous Christmas present idea. We've got yes.
Say, Paul, whoever wins that, send us a photograph of you drinking out of it, so we can put it on in a subsequent week.
Definitely. Jess again, Mr. Obvious, says I don't drink non-belly button beer. Well, that's you could be
belly button White Claw, Jess.
Yeah. Ollie Iverson says, love your chat with Chris Collinsworth to read the Freezer Bowl. Yes, we had 100th podcast last week, and we had Chris Collinsworth on, unbelievably, but he spoke brilliantly about the Freezer Bowl and lots of other things. And you go on our Twitter feed and Facebook pages to go and check that out. The links are there. Jamie disappeared, but now he's back. Right, now we're going to bring in a Bengals fan and an Eagles fan. So let's bring in Mike and Tom. Guys, how you doing? I'd say, what is the Eagles battle cry or greeting, Tom? Hello.
Go Birds.
Oh, go Birds. Okay. How is it with you two? You're obviously good friends, but in about an hour's time, I guess it won't be, right?
Well, I tolerate him. He's all right. He's all right. No, we're good buddies. We're ex-uni mates. Go South Bank. But yeah, it's from a while back. And you've met Tom as well before, Paul, in the Bengals Steelers, and some guy wanted to suppose
that was a fun night in
there after about three Bengals fans in there and about 20 other Steelers fans. It was a good night.
Was that the last time we beat the Steelers?
Could be.
Yeah.
So long ago.
So it's kind of fun, isn't it, watching it? I often watch, my best mate is a Seattle fan, and we watch the Seattle games together. Although, we did. The last couple of times we watched them together, so we're sort of 1-1 after watching them together. And it does add a little bit of extra bristle and excitement, doesn't it, when you watch it together, I think.
I've also got money on this game as well, so that adds that little bit of extra edge to it. So it's I'm quite looking forward to it. And also, given that it's AFC, NFC, not too often this happens. So when it does happen, you try and make a bit of an event of it. I don't know what I haven't been on the chat for most of the evening, I'm afraid. So what's the consensus amongst the four of you for today's game?
Well, we haven't really got to that point yet, Mike. I've been showing this, which is the juice of, which is something called pea wet. I don't know if you've heard of that, coming from the northwest, which is juice, which is the juice of peas, mushy peas that gets put on chips. No, we haven't got that far yet. So I'm interested to see what you guys, particularly, let's get a view from the enemy lines. Tom, The Eagles are 0-2 again. Were you expecting them to be, start the season so badly? And what's going on? We're used to it, obviously, but
looks like the wrong Pennine sort of food, really.
I think I'm afraid you're freezing there, guys. Let me just take you out of the chat for a moment. Yeah. What has happened to the Eagles this year? Andrew.
It's a tough. So Wentz has the ability. I think this year firstly, week 1, they were very, very injured. You had Nole Johnson, Brandon Brooks, probably the best guard in the league, has been out. He's out for the season. But Wentz has kind of got into this habit of, if he has a bad play, he tries to make up for it with the next play, and he's just not making up for it. I think in the last 3 years, he had 7 interceptions. He's up to 4 in 2 games this year. So he's just trying to push the ball downfield a bit far. He doesn't have the wide receivers to do that. So I think that's where they're struggling. And not to mention the linebackers as well.
Our secondary, we should be relieved because they've got their round 1 pick from last year, Jalen Rieger, out. They got Alshon Jeffrey out. They were struggling at the end of last season with wide receivers. That's why they drafted one in the first round, and I think that problem hasn't been resolved. They can run the ball, but that O-line has been hit by injuries as well. So I think the person who said whoever runs the ball the most, or rather the best, has the best chance of winning this game, which doesn't really augur well for the Bengals because we've been conceding a lot of yards to rushers so far. But this is the game.
I think they're over 5 yards per carry as well. So I think it will just be the best linebacker group on the day could really win this game.
And I'm wondering, I've noticed that Andrew Brown is inactive as well. And I'm wondering whether or not they are going to be picking some more beef inside rather than the edges, just because of that run. I see Marcus Bailey is also inactive as well. So perhaps they are looking specifically at this game to try and stop that run.
I think they called a tackle off the practice squad yesterday evening just to add a bit of beef in the middle. The way the Bengals have to approach this is to force the ball into Carson Wentz's hands. If we let the Eagles run on us again, like we let the Browns run on us last week, this could be a very long day.
All right. Well, obviously, you see Mike and Tom are back. Welcome back, guys. Before we go back to you guys, let's have a look at our resident betting expert. If you want to put a bet down, obviously, we're into responsible gambling. So do bear that in mind. So, yeah, have a watch of what Adam's going to say.
It's that time of the week again. It's betting time. I think we're going to do well tonight. I'm looking forward to this game. Bengals are 4.5-point underdogs, in from 6.5 earlier in the week, so there's been money for them. I'm expecting a very high-scoring game. It's 46.5 points. The total. I think it's going to go over that. I wouldn't be surprised if we get 30-40. To be honest, it would be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, I don't think their defense is very good. Unfortunately, I don't think ours is very good. So I think it's going to be high-scoring one. I think Drew Sample's in for a big game. You can get over 3.5 receptions for him at a decent price. I think it's around 10 to 11. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head. He should get decent yardage. He was a very good price to score a touchdown as well, which has disappeared. But I think he should be doing pretty damn well tonight with CJ out. AJ Green, surely they're gonna hook up on a big one finally. He's had 23 targets, I believe, this year so far and caught 8 of them. So they keep looking for him. He just can't make the plays at the moment. So fingers crossed, we will get the win tonight. We will go 1-2 and put the Eagles at 0-3, leave them out of the playoffs, and get our season started. Get Jerry B the first win. Hooday!
Many thanks to Adam there. And he said a few interesting things. We've got some comments off the back of that. Slam Dunk the Funk, that's Duncan. Let's hope the Bengals perform better than the Sheffield football teams did today. Benjamin George on Facebook says, I think we can get a surprise win today. 2-1 is fantastic value. Tim Bryce says, Houday to you, Tim. And then Benjamin is back again. Is D-Jax out too? Has anybody heard whether Deshaun Jackson is out? No, it's not.
He's not.
I will
down as
stick that
inactive.
into Twitter.
Yeah,
He's not on the inactive list.
Beverly Martell, Houday Bengal family from the US. A big Houday to you, Beverly. Lovely of you to join us. Benjamin again. Green is getting his confidence back, but I think he'll click. Let's quickly go back to Mike. And we want your predictions, guys. What are your predictions? Where is the game going to be won and lost? Let's have some score predictions in the last 10 minutes or so of this online tailgate. Mike and Tom, let's go back to you guys. Tommy, you were just about to explain why the Eagles have been so poor to start the season. I don't think anybody was expecting this from the Eagles. So what's been going on?
Yeah, it's interesting. Two losses in two different ways. It looks really great against the Washington football team for 25 minutes, and then went through a terrible pick, and it all went downhill from there. And then the Rams, just the defense was horrendous, just letting Goff make easy pass after easy pass, and the offense was just, ran the ball well, but Wentz again had a pretty poor game, missing open passes, and the receivers didn't really help him very much either. It's difficult really to pinpoint when it's different reasons and injuries all over the place as well. And I think, it comes really down at the moment to Doug Pedersen, that he's not calling the right games for the team, and Schwartz at DC said he called a bad game had a bad game plan for the defense in the Rams game. So I think it's really the coaches more than the players that is a problem at the moment. And I'm not sure how you fix that.
Are you still Team Wentz, or are you itching for Jalen Hurts, or are you missing Nick Foles?
Not missing Nick Foles, because I watched enough of him outside the playoffs to know what a player he is, and obviously he's lost out to Trubisky, so not too worried, not missing him too much. Hurts, he was on the field against the Rams and he caused a bit of confusion in their defense for once, which was nice, but definitely not a starting NFL quarterback there yet. So Wentz still is the guy, but showing he's maybe not quite as elite as we hoped, and maybe more like tier 1, bottom of into tier 2 as the way he's playing at the moment. So need him to do better, and I think, as you were saying earlier, not try and play hero ball and take what's on offer, and not try and do it all himself.
So what are your expectations for this game?
I predicted with the players coming back from injury last week that we'd beat the Rams, so that was good. And then so I've kind of once bitten, twice shy. So I think it's difficult to say how we'll do today. I can't really see us winning, especially if Fletcher Cox isn't fully fit, which he's not meant to be. He's been on injury report this week with abdominal issue. Hargrave looked terrible last week, and Malik Jackson, who's also getting over 10 million a year at defensive tackle, hasn't really justified that yet, coming off a year-long injury. So if we can't stuff up anything in the middle, and our defensive ends aren't great, and our linebackers are terrible, they're not a well-paid group, it's going to be difficult to stop the run and do much on defense, I fear, again.
Tell us some players under the radar that we should be looking out for on the Eagles that isn't commanding huge money, but have actually played okay this year so far.
That's a difficult one. Under the radar, who hasn't played well but might play well today, is John Hightower, who I think was our 6th round wide receiver. He's got lots of pace and will be a deep threat. He'll just need to try and catch the ball, which he didn't manage to do in the first game, and didn't really get a look in the second game. But with Rieger out, he should see more snaps. And then I guess someone that's played well, that is being paid a lot of money, is Darius Slay. Has been a revelation to see an actual good cornerback play for the Eagles for the first time in many years. But and then actually the line's done really well. Herbig's come in at right guard and played great through 2 games, and then he's moved to left guard for today because our left guard has gone out injured, just to add to our offensive line injury problems. So we're missing 3 starters, but the line played really well against the Rams. So, yeah, he's been doing well.
Have you seen our O-line? I can't believe you're moaning about your O-line. Like, oh, it's the 3 starters gone. Have you seen it? You've seen it we've got playing for us.
Well, it's actually playing at a really high level. Like, apparently Donald had his worst game, according to PFF, in like 2 years against our O-line last week. So, yeah, the O-line's not a problem. And I think the 8 sacks...
Look out. They'll be coming up against Christian Covington this weekend. That's all I'm
Yes, that's a strength. But I worry about our defense again. So, yeah.
Mike, where do you think we're going to win this game?
Well, it's an hard
brilliant.
one. I'm just going to go for it. But Burrow magic today. I think the boy's going to come good. He's going to, you're going to see him become a man today. He's going to fling it around, drop back 50 times, but still have a ridiculous 60% completion. AJ's going to be, it's have a file it under him, catches 2 touchdowns. Mike Thomas is going to get that touchdown and win me some money. It's going to be all about the passing game today. Let's screw defensive football. Boring, isn't it? Let's get the people in. Let's get the fans in. Let's watch us play. Let's watch a bit of a to and fro. Bengals win, say 42-40.
Blimey.
Wow.
Blimey. Benjamin George says it's going to be 1-0.
Viewers.
Slam Dunk the Fun Duncan again says it's going to be 35-21 Bengals. It's all about Joe and Joe today. Rosie May, hello Rosie, says 35-28 Bengals. Think we'll get our first win, but another close game. Paul Croft, 2 day guys. 2 day to you, Paul. And also Duncan Chips said Eagles sound like they need Bobby Hart to shore up their O-line. Not sure things are that bad yet.
What would you get trade value for Bobby Hart right now?
3 reams of photocopier paper.
Yeah.
A revolving door?
So that's the same function.
Jus de pie, perhaps.
Yeah. Beef and tomato pot noodle, maybe. I don't know. That's saying a lot, really, isn't it?
Not even a good flavour.
I think viewers need to know that Mike has money on a touchdown by which wide receiver, Mike?
It's Michael Thomas, but as a Liverpool fan, I'd never thought I'd hear me see the day I'd want Michael Thomas to score. So here I am.
Very good. Okay, guys.
American viewers won't get that one.
No, thank God. Don't Google that.
Well, thanks, guys, for coming on. Enjoy the game. What's your snack menu today?
Who day?
All right. Well, good. Have fun, everyone.
All right, who day, Paul?
Right, okay. So let's wrap this up. We've got 5 minutes to talk about the game. They did say they were. What concerned me last week was kind of game planning more than anything. I mean, they let Baker roll out to avoid any sort of pressure, really. And I wonder, because Wentz has been struggling this year, I wonder if that's going to be the same sort of thing, whether they're going to allow or trying to get him outside the pocket quickly and make him escape pressure, really.
I get the idea that Carson Wentz's issues this year have been not really been as a result of pressure, but more kind of mental mistakes on his end. And because we're not able to get to the quarterback, that might give you a little bit of hope that there is a way of forcing turnovers against him if we're clever with our coverages, if we're tight on the receivers we're meant to be covering.
Andrew, where do you think it's going to be won and lost today?
I think I kind of briefly mentioned it earlier. It's the linebackers. I think both teams are going to try and run the ball a lot. And whichever one can kind of contain the run. I don't think either's going to stop the run today. Both D-lines are injured, but which team can contain the run will be huge, and the turnover battle. And
linebackers are a weakness for the Eagles. When fit, they've got a fantastic defensive line, right?
Fletcher Cox, and then behind them, they just not spent any money on the linebackers. They've not appreciated that position. We have put premium draft picks, but they're young guys.
Mm-hmm. And if you read a lot of people's analysis of the Browns game, it wasn't necessarily the defensive line that was shocking last week. It was the linebackers, our young linebackers, failing to kind of block their gaps and to make tackles, really. So I hope that will have been an emphasis of practice this week.
Yeah, a lot of terrible angles. If you've got your high safety making the most tackle attempts, that's not a good stat.
And of course, Sean Williams is back this week, so that might help in terms of bugging the box. We've got Juan Ra Iribarren from Spain, Hude from La Jungla, Spain. Very good. Living La Vida Luca. Hello, John. Fantasy question: shall I put Mixon in over Connor?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Every time.
And that's another thing, Pete, isn't it? We've got to get the run game going today because it's been non-existent.
I mean, my issue has been that today is all about the big play. Right? We've got to stop the big play and we've got to get some of our own. We've been nickel and diming it down the pitch. We've not been able to complete a pass over 20 yards. I think last week against the Browns, the only one was Uzama's touchdown. We've got to be able to connect on a long pass. The other thing is, let's get ahead. I want to see what we are like playing from in front, right? So we can run the ball more. We saw how much Burrow had to throw it last week, but that's because we were playing from behind all the time. So, let's get at them early. Let's get some big plays early, and let's see if we can control the game. Our running game, I think, will be a strength for us this week. And but I also think Burrow should be able to connect with some long passes. I also, and it's been mentioned in some of the chat, I want to congratulate Drew Sample for his first NFL touchdown this week.
You really fancy him to score this week?
Yeah, I do.
Interesting. Jamie, what about you? What are your feelings on the game today? What are you looking forward to most?
Well, I was reasonably confident sort of midweek, given my predictions for the blog, but as game times come closer, kind of the maddening reality of being a Bengals fan has come to the fore. I still think we're in with a real shout of winning this one. We've got to get stuck in. We've got to get into them. But it's a case of execution, and we've not been doing it the last couple of weeks. We've been nearly there. We've had a couple of deep balls that honestly should have been touchdowns, and it's about actually taking the chances that we've got. To sort of borrow some soccer parlance, we've had high expected touchdowns, but we've not had those touchdowns come down yet.
Absolutely. So quickly, we're going to wrap this up. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Andrew, score prediction?
The Eagles haven't been 0-3 since 1999. I don't think it's this week. 34-27 Eagles.
Ooh. Pete?
Not as high scoring as everyone else. 24-21, Bullock to ping one off the right upright.
Oh, I like that. Jamie, you sticking with your prediction on the blog?
I'm going to slightly change it. I think it's going to be a lot more high scoring. And I'm going to go with 42-38 Bengals.
Holy moly, God, we're in for a heart attack this evening.
Paul, it has to be said, at the beginning of the season, we were all making our predictions and looking which games will win and which games we won't. And everything's out the window now. And people thought Chargers, that's a possible win. Browns away, or at least one of the Browns game, a possible win. Eagles, oh no, forget that. That's a loss.
Yeah.
Things are turning table. And Burrow has improved week 2 from week 1. Let's see how far he improves even further week 3.
Well, this is a game that in before the season started, I predicted that we would lose. But you're right. I think the teams are a lot closer than that. I'm going to go for a Bengals win. Why not? Why not?
Yeah.
Something like 28 or 27-21. And I don't know it's so difficult to predict. But I think we'll see where we are after this game, I think.
If Burrow takes less hits, I'll be happy.
I think that's what we all want. If Father Bill was here, I think I'd ask him to say a little prayer just to ensure that Joe Boy does not get put on his arse as much as he did last week.
with no pre-season games, he came out in pre-season and said that he's looking forward to the first hit. I don't think he's saying that anymore.
No. Well, that's the end of our week 3 online tailgate. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back next week. And until then, we've got episode 101 of our podcast tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. Well, obviously, we'll contain some game reaction from tonight's game. Enjoy the game. Enjoy company. Enjoy food. Enjoy good beer. And hopefully, let's all say that we can enjoy a Bengals win. So it's a who day from me. And a who day for everyone else.
Good day.
Here we go.